Good evening, I'm John Carter and welcome to Poland Daily. The President of Poland, Andrzej Duda, has signed a decree regarding the date of the Polish parliamentary elections. Voting will take place on October the 13th to decide who will take the seats in the Polish Sejm and Senate.
The press secretary of the President of Poland, Pawel Kukiz, has stated that President Andrzej Duda has signed a decree regarding the date of the Polish parliamentary elections. The elections are due to take place on October 13th.
The president didn't want the period of the election campaign to be very long, that's why he chose October 13th. The election campaign period is always very competitive, and we don't need that. We need a debate about Poland, campaign promises and ideas for Poland on the basis of content. And we want to encourage every participant in the upcoming election campaign.
The Law and Justice Party is very satisfied with the date of the elections. The representatives of the opposition not so much.
The Law and Justice Party takes the elections in its stride, but the opposition is very nervous because they don't have a coherent plan or electoral lists. We have no doubts that this date was chosen by the leader of the Law and Justice Party, Jarosław Kaczyński. The Prime Minister of Poland, Mateusz Morawiecki, mentioned this date some time ago. That is why the Law and Justice Party chose that date and Andrzej Duda announced it.
According to the publicist Grzegorz Łaguna, there is no right or wrong date of the elections.
This date means a much shorter period before the elections, and this fact is not good for both sides. The opposition is divided. All the opposition parties have to sort things out. The ruling party is also under pressure, for instance with the Kuchenski case.
After publishing the decree, the election campaign will officially start in 5 days.
For several weeks, Pawel Kukiz has been conducting talks with the Polish People's Party on the possible inclusion of MPs from the Kukiz 15 movement from the electoral list of the People's Party in the next parliamentary elections. Earlier, he held talks with the Confederation, and several MPs from the Kukiz 15 movement switched to Law and Justice. The final decision is yet to be made, but everything indicates that the Kukiz 15 movement will not run in the parliamentary elections alone.
Pawel Kukiz is unofficially going to take the first place in Opole on the list of the Polish People's Party. Other MPs of the Kukiz 15 movement are also to appear on the Agrarian Party lists. You'll find out if there is an official conference in which Pawel Kukiz will definitely participate, whether or not such a coalition will happen. There have been some talks. We have convinced the Polish People's Party to many of our postulates. We also agree with some of theirs. Conversations are advancing, but I am asking for your patience in this matter. It is not a secret that Pawel Kukiz also held talks with the Confederation Group, which officially announced the registration of their election committee today. However, as the party leaders say, it is possible that representatives of the Kukiz 15 movement will appear on their lists. Regardless of the decision made by Pawel Kukiz, a significant number of supporters and voters of the Kukiz 15 movement are moving to the Confederation. It is known that if Pawel Kukiz runs with the Polish People's Party, he will almost entirely be alone. That is because you can't talk about breaking the party system of the Third Republic of Poland for a couple of years and then go to the elections with the party that is the quintessence of the system. Political commentators and politicians point to Pawel Kukiz's earlier statements and his willingness to fight the system. It is sad that the leader of this formation has squandered the might of public support he had over the past 4 years. He is now likely to run with a party he has heavily criticized in the past. This results in the fact that many political analysts consider this to be the surrender of Pawel Kukiz, because he did not build the structures of his association and lost over 50% of the deputies in the parliamentary club. Tomorrow, during a special conference, Pawel Kukiz is likely to announce how his party will run in the upcoming parliamentary elections.
According to evidence gathered by the tabloid newspaper Fact, the Sejm Marshal Marek Kuchenski was accompanied by other PiS politicians and their families during flights in the Podkarpacie voivodeship. Today, it emerged that not only did the Speaker of the Sejm take his family on board the government plane, but also the Speaker of the Senate. Today, the Chancellery of the Senate published a list of Kuchenski's flights. Our reporter, Alexandra Zarzycka, gathered opinions concerning the controversial topic.
According to media reports, such as RMF Radio, family members traveled alongside government officials and law and justice deputies on government planes. These include Stanisław Piotrowicz with his wife, or law and justice MEP Zdzisław Krasnodębski, also with his wife. Stanisław Piotrowicz spoke on the matter concerning the day he was on board the government plane alongside Marshal Kuchenski. His wife left the Hematology Institute in Warsaw and received several hundred ampoules of a drug that had to be stored frozen. A problem arose as to how to transport this drug to her place of residence. The MP is from Podkarpacie. He lives 70 kilometers from Rzeszów, and when he learned that it was possible to get on board with the Speaker of the Parliament Marek Kuchenski, he decided to take advantage of it. According to RMF, this list published yesterday by the Chancellery of the Sejm, the list of flights, is incomplete. The opposition claims that this case will not be forgiven. There is a demand for the resignation of Sejm Speaker Marek Kuchenski and also the director of the Sejm Information Center, Andrzej Grzegżółka, who provided false information on the matter in the media. According to law and justice politicians, the whole problem is the result of a lack of regulations in this area. Regulations which will be put into place so there is no doubt who can board government aircrafts.
Politicians of the law and justice are lying, the Chancellery of the Sejm are lying, the spokesman who's responsible for conducting the information policy of the Sejm is lying, and finally, Marshal Kuchenski himself is lying. He is lying about his wife, about their law and justice deputies, and about their wives. Today we can ask one question: how many more Kuchenskis are there in the law and justice? First of all, the problem stems from the illegible rules inherited from the previous governments regarding the possibility of flights of the most important people in the country and people accompanying them. That is why we will introduce a regulation that will eliminate all existing doubts to ensure the matter is completely transparent from A to Z.
Electric scooters have become increasingly popular throughout many cities around the world, and Warsaw is no exception. At present, Polish law does not regulate the scooters, and the omnipresent vehicles are causing many injuries. So far, the highest compensation awarded for such an incident in Poland was 2.5 million zloty. That's over €500,000.
Electric scooters are available in all major Polish cities. However, most of the operators provide their services in Warsaw. Since the beginning of this summer, hospitals noted several hundred casualties related to electric scooters. In some areas, emergency rooms are receiving patients on a daily basis. Most people injured are not electric scooters users, but pedestrians hit by the speeding vehicles. According to Polish law, compensation for injuries should be paid by the perpetrator. But the same law considers the electric scooter driver as a pedestrian. The highest amount of damages paid for an electric scooter accident was €500,000. The court ruled that the perpetrator should pay the victim damages in monthly amount of 12,000 zlotys or €3,000. Polish lawmakers want to regulate that market. The government has drawn up a law that will extend bicycle laws to include electric scooters and prevent these vehicles driving faster than 25 kilometers per hour. The size and mass of the scooter will also be limited.
Thank you very much for joining me here this evening at Poland Daily. I'm John Carter. Stay tuned after the break for Poland Daily Weather. It's followed by the business, then it's the culture, the history, and finally the travel.